And we are live on time, 1 minute late. Surprise, surprise. Show number 772. It's Ty, aka the Flip Man. I am solo by myself for right now. Renikia was having some internet issues, so I'm not sure she's going to make it, and Adria's supposed to be here in just a second. So you guys can start to load your questions to let us know where you are, where you're from in the process. And hopefully I can do my best to answer those by my lonesome until further notice. So I'll probably just go into just trying to explain a couple of things about the biz. I get a lot of the same common questions. Everybody's different at what level they are on this journey of wholesaling real estate, mainly houses. So again, welcome to this week's Flippinars show number 72. Didn't make it last week. Adria couldn't make it. Hadn't taken a hiatus in a minute. And so I got a little bit behind. I still was intending on doing it. Then I just finally made the executive call and said, no mas, we're not going to have it. So boom. Hopefully okay, they couldn't hear me on Facebook. So boom, there we go. Should be good now on the Facebook group. But again, this is show number 72. We missed last week, as I said. So hopefully a lot of you all are ready to get your questions answered once Adria gets here. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply go into a couple of things about the biz. One of the things that people seem to have the most difficult thing doing is figuring out what is a deal and what isn't a deal. And I'll get that message through the YouTube videos, the Facebook group, which I'm rarely on, as you probably can tell. It moves too fast for me. You know, my mind just doesn't work that way. The YouTube comments I can get to, because even though I get a lot more views there, it's just not as fast paced, so I can answer those, you know, every couple of days or whatever. So with that being said, so I want to go into what is a deal and what is not a deal. This stuff only works well and works consistently whenever, number one, you have control over your seller and you have an actual great deal. And I know a lot of you all that are just getting into the business, you get really excited when someone says, hey, yeah, I want to sell a house to you. But that's just the beginning of it. Obviously, you got to have someone that wants to sell, someone that wants to buy in order for a transaction to take place. But it still has to be a great deal for the purpose of wholesaling, so let's define a great deal. And this is just not cut in stone, but the quote unquote formula that a lot of people use is more to prevent you from wasting time than anything, in my opinion, than just being the set in stone number. So just to use some easy numbers here, after repair value is the first part of it. And people get confused with the repair part of it. And I'll say, what's the ARV? And it's, the repairs is $15,000. No, that's the after repair value simply means, the ARV means what will the house appraise for in excellent condition. So you have to backdoor it. You have to think in terms of you being the investor, the cash investor that's going to actually fund the deal. And a lot of times I'll just ask people, well, would you buy this deal? And they're like, no. Well, why would you think somebody else would buy it? You know, if the roles were reversed, you're not going to find many cash investors that if the house is worth, we'll say $300,000 and they spend $270 for you. Yeah, there's a $30,000 spread there, but it's just not how it works, because a lot of that money would get ate up through closing costs, paying a real estate agent, and so on. and you haven't even built in if it actually needs any repairs or not. So to get to just the formula itself, we're just going to use some really easy numbers. And let me make sure my Instagram will stay put. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to assume that the ARV on a property is $100,000. So that's what the house will appraise for in excellent condition, and that's determined in several different ways. I won't get into it. I have videos on tons of videos on that. You can just do a search on YouTube for top 3 ways to calculate ARV, and put Flipman behind it, or put Dealulator in there and just put Flipman or whatever. You'll see a couple of videos there to show you how you can use that tool to determine that. But assuming that the ARV is $100,000, you automatically take times that times 70%, which will give you $70,000. So what does that 70% actually represent? Okay, so 70, you have to look at the 30% in reality. 70 plus 30 equals 100%. All right, the 30% that's is the remaining of that 100% is it just, again, this is just an estimation. It's not set in stone, but you're taking into account that the cash buyer is looking to make anywhere from 20 to 25% profit on the property. And when I say profit, I mean after buying the house, paying you, paying a realtor or closing cost or the repair cost on the property. And then the other 5 to 10% of that 30% is the actual holding cost. And that would include, like I said, closing costs and maybe like paying a light bill, a water bill, just utilities, things of that nature. Okay, so you take the 100,000 times 70%, and that leaves $70,000. We'll assume that the repairs on this property is $25,000. So you subtract $25,000 from $70,000, that leaves $45,000. So you say, well, I want to make $5,000 on this deal, which that's just a number you're just pulling out of the sky in reality. But so you want to make $5,000 on this deal. What I like to do, and you don't have to do it this way, but I like to double that amount to give more negotiated room. So now that 5,000, instead of subtracting 5,000 from 45,000, you subtract 10,000 from 45,000. If I'm moving too fast, just to go in replay mode within an hour after this live stream is over on YouTube. Same thing on my Facebook page and group, so it'll be available to watch again if the numbers are going too fast for you. So that leaves $35,000. So now, if the seller / owner is within that ballpark, then you possibly have a deal, based on those numbers. Now, I would still offer something less than that amount. I'll probably still offer them $20,000, because I want to get their bottom line price. What will they actually take for this particular house? Now, if there's a situation where they don't accept that, we'll just go back up to the 35,000. Then your follow-up question would be, well, how close can you come to that amount? So if they say, well, I can't come close to that amount at all, then normally what I'll do is I'll thank them for their time, and I'll let them know if anything changes to give me a call back. Some people may be a little bit more aggressive, but that's just my style on it. So, but assuming that they do accept the offer, then the next step would be obviously to go out and take a look at the property, or send someone out there that's going to represent you to take a look at the property. Everything checks out. It stays within that $25,000 repair estimate that you gave or whatever. Then this could have all happened in reverse, where you had already went out and then you made the offer, whatever, which I suggest the numbers need to sort of work over the phone, where you say, well, how do I know what the repairs are? You can just make up a number. I would just always go, if it's not an extremely huge house, then you can just use 15, 20, 25,000, and it can either only be worse or better than what you thought. Now you're going to ask the seller what their opinion, what type of repairs are needed. And you can't always go by that, but don't mean, but for the sake of you figuring out if this is going to be worth your time or not, then that's what you would actually do. So now if you have an actual deal, as I said, you go out and take a look at the property. Normally what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this very valuable tool that I'm going to video the property. You can snap pictures if you want, but in my opinion, video upload to YouTube, that's free. Use technology to your advantage, because now you can take that shared link and email it, or text it to potential buyers or whatever. So, but if you have a deal in place, then the next step is to actually place it under contract. And so boom, now it's time to find a buyer, but that's basically determine if you have a deal or not. So guess what? Adria has made it so good we can get to regular programming.
Hi everybody. Where you at? Oh, you're doing good. You're doing really good. Like, you gonna let me get in here like a little bit or something?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Ooh, funny acting. Hey, Tanya Brown and Deidre Nicole. Let's see here. Missed you guys last week. Hey, Kelp. Okay, so there's Darnell from Michigan. Can I have this, please? Thank you. What question did you ask?
I just explained to them.
Explain what wholesaling was?
Well, how to figure out what a deal is. Well, I tried to anyway.
Okay. Well, Bryce has a question. He says, if I get a house under contract, can you list it with the realtor, and how would the paperwork process look like?
Well, it can be done. It's a little tricky. You have to have the right type of realtor. It's not really listing the property. Guys here locally, one of the guys that run one of the real estate investment clubs here, he has a way of doing it, and they basically are just making the contract available through MLS. So not sure exactly how he does that. So he has a unique way of presenting it that way through MLS. So yeah, it can be done, so just have to have the right type of realtor, which can be very difficult to find in a lot of cases.
Carrot says,
from my experience.
You guys keep me going for my last hour at work on Thursdays. Oh, you're funny.
Good. We're on time today, so
yeah, but you didn't have faith in me.
Well, I want to start at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Platinum Rose says I almost got tricked into accepting an offer with an earnest money refundable for any reason the buyer can't close clause. W2F, they thought I was Boo-Boo the fool. So what exactly? So obviously she wasn't using her own contract, right?
So what was the question?
She said she almost got tricked into accepting an offer with an earnest money refundable for any reason the buyer can't close clause.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to sign that. No.
Okay.
In my opinion. So you have to click on it. We're live, but I don't see the comment. Hit the comments thing right there. No comments? Oh, wow.
Okay. On Facebook, y'all slipping. Where my Facebook people at?
Oh, it ain't that many people. Ain't nobody on there. Okay.
Who's playing today? Some have to play too. All right. Edmund says, well, actually, let's go to Instagram. Where would I start? I just came home and I want to do it. So you came home. That's from Instagram, Southwest Mook. Well, kind of. Didn't you just explain that a little bit?
He said, where should he start?
Yeah.
Well, you're always going to educate yourself first on anything that you do. You need to know what you're doing, sound like you know what you're talking about when you're dealing with sellers and buyers. They're definitely sellers. So the first thing you want to do is educate yourself. And from there, we're just talking about wholesaling. This business just boils down to generating leads, getting your phone to ring, or getting sellers' phones to ring. So if you can generate leads and enough leads, you'll stumble into great deals. And that's what the business just boils down to. So educate yourself and understand it. Just don't bog yourself down in all the details. Just understand you need to market your butt out to generate leads. It's that simple.
Okay, Off-Roader, who's one of our frequent visitors, says, I have a property with a tenant in it and it's very hard to gain access. I have two motivated buyers. Would you show it at the same time because of the lack of access? I think you're going to say no.
Um, I would, I maybe roll with that and just let them know, hey man, you know, I'm first come, first serve on this or whatever. And we're having trouble with access to the property because of the current tenant, you know. So another guy will be there to, you know, look, I'm not trying to pit you all against each other. I'm just letting you know what it is. I'm just trying to make, you know, one run work for both parties that are currently interested. And or what you can do is give the person that's there renting the property an incentive to be more reasonable. Is what I mean by that. You may have to say that you would be willing to pay them X number of dollars if they number one, they're going to have to move out after you close the property. That you'll pay them, you know. So you may say $500,000 or whatever. They only get paid when you get paid, and after they actually move out. So that may make them more reasonable. Just give them some type of bounty to act right.
Give him some act right money. Hi there from Chicago. I do believe that is Regina Perry. She wants to know, actually, that's Raquina, Mrs. Perry. Where can I get your assignment sheet? So I'm thinking she's not talking about the one-page contract, which is available to each and every one of you guys. She wants to know.
Well, I have a video with an assignment that I explain how to do an assignment contract, but I think in the video I explained that this is not how I do it, but I just did the video for the sake of people that want to use an assignment contract. So I'd use two contracts. It's the same contract which you can download free from my site, flipman.net. But I use that same template contract for the seller side, which on that contract, I'll be the buyer. Then we fill out a separate contract for the seller. And we fill out a separate contract for a buyer, and I'll be the seller on that contract. So it's two contracts, two purchase and sales agreements. I'm still paid via an assignment contract, but the reason I do that, the reason I teach it that way, and I was taught to do it that way, you don't want buyers to knowingly negotiate your assignment fee. You want them to negotiate a price. You may have it on the contract for $1 or whatever. They don't know. They will eventually know if they wanted to, or at some point at closing they'll know. But you don't want that to be part of the negotiation. You want them to base it off what they're willing to pay for it, because they won't know how much you have it on the contract for.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Harry, for correcting me. It's Queena. I like that name. Dwayne says, maybe it's because I'm still looking at the old videos, but dang, Flip, you have lost a lot of weight. Yay.
You check back 3 weeks from now, and I might be the same dude you've seen on the old video. It's hard, man.
It's a compliment.
but I know I'm saying thank you, but just let you know it's hard, man.
Man.
Stay tuned.
Trying to look like that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Someone on Instagram, I forgot the name, but they wanted to know if Fund My Next Deal was still a thing. Yes, absolutely. You can go to fundmynextdeal.com. She's not with us today, but Miss Renikia Williams has ways for you to build your wealth using your credit. So again, that's fundmynextdeal.com. Let's see here. Best way to break down a list easier without skip tracing. That's from Elvis Santiago.
What you have to be a little bit more clear on breaking down the list. If you could just explain a little bit more, sir.
Okay, so Elvis, clear that question up, and I'll be sure to get back with it. On Instagram, once you have both contracts, what are the next steps? Lawyer, etc., title company, and that's from Instagram.
Well, if you have both contracts in place, it's now time to proceed to a closing attorney and or a title company to get your deal in motion to close. in a lot of cases, the buyer is going to dictate where that happens. Sometimes they'll tell you they don't care; they just want to know who or whatever. So you would handle it from there. But if it's a situation where the buyer is saying, "Hey, no, we're going to close at my attorney or this title company or whatever," then you just need to be able to submit both contracts along with your closing detail sheet, which I give away. Freeclosingdoc.com.
Freeclosingdoc.com. Um, okay. We have San Antonio in the house. And how do you start wholesaling when the market is full of wholesalers, non-existent, not in a place like San Antonio, correct? Oh, it's fine. I switch it back and forth, trying to see.
Oh, say what now? He said what now?
Wanted to know is she and wanted to know how do you begin wholesaling in a market when it's I guess saturated as they say
No such thing.
and she's in San Antonio.
No such thing. San Antonio's let me see.
That's Lenora.
Metro San Antonio.
Are you gonna tell us the population?
Yeah, I have to make my argument here.
Oh, 2 million.
Almost 2.5 million metropolitan or greater San Antonio area is not possible to saturate. Get in the game. Don't make excuses, baby girl. Get in the game.
All right, Lenora, there you have it. Pamela, does the Dealulator provide phone numbers with leads? And we're talking about Dealulator.com, which is AKA PropStream, but Dealulator from our end. Does it?
It does it provide what?
Phone numbers.
Well, yeah, it does. I was speaking with my one of the developers over there yesterday. We're going to go with a different append service on the phone numbers to get a little bit more accurate on the numbers. But to answer your question, yes, but it's an additional cost to append phone numbers for a group that you or list that you created within the system. Right now, it's only 10 cents per successful lead, though.
Okay, so we have a visitor here from Illinois, and of course the question disappeared there, but he wanted to know where he could get a standard real estate contract because the seller didn't want to use his one-page private contract. You should be able to find that online, right?
When he say a standard contract, does he mean a board of realtors contract for that market? If that's what you're saying, or for that state, then you would have to just get that from an agent. But if they didn't want to do that one-page contract, you probably don't have a deal. You can't let them control that kind of stuff, man. You just can't. I would love to hear the numbers on your deal. Motivated sellers just normally don't act that way. You can't, but even if they do, you can't let them control that part of your deal. If you're comfortable with that, there's no big deal about the contract. But normally when people are making those type of demands and stuff, it's rare that the numbers are actually what they probably need to be. I would love to hear the numbers on that deal.
Well, he said, and this is Danny, he says because they are a realtor.
Well, there you go. Okay.
That's why.
Well, yeah. So what are the numbers on that deal? And see, if they are a realtor, then they're going to want to submit the contract. If they're the realtor, they'll submit you a contract, or send you over a copy, and you can just fill it out, with your terms or whatever.
Okay. Jessica Gober, and then I'll go to Instagram. But Jessica says, good evening. I'm from New Orleans and I am new to wholesaling. My question is, there's a property in my area that I've seen, but only stopped by today to see the address. There's a for sale by owner and a realtor sign in the yard. Oh my gosh. I hate when that happens. I lose the question because it scrolls down. Let me see here. I'm sorry there. Not doing anything. The question disappeared.
We need to be on the page. We don't need to be on my feed. We need to be on the actual page.
I am.
Huh?
I am.
No, you're on the wrong thing. That's not the page.
How come it's not?
Huh?
How come it's not?
There it is right there.
That's exactly where I was. And it still won't give me all of them. So I'm telling you.
Okay.
I have to relay.
Oh, that's in the group. We're in the group. That's in the group. That's what you're trying to do?
No, there it is. That's all I needed was here. Okay, Jessica's question. Good evening. And she said she finally stopped by the house today and she Googled the property and the Zillow price is $299 and the Redfin price is $529. The property is a house that was renovated for commercial use. What should be my next steps? So there's a realtor sign and a for sale by owner sign, and you have pretty drastic price there between the two.
So both of them have prices on it. Is what they're saying?
But I guess one is if it was zoned more for commercial. Would it be that drastic of a difference? She said Zillow shows 299 and Redfin, which I'm sure is another property estimator, is 529.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's not the right one.
It is.
That's the group. That's not the page.
Just fine. That's the page.
No, that's YouTube.
There's nothing on the page. I flip back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right.
I got this.
All right.
Jessica.
So what's the prices on it?
$299 on Zillow and $529 on Redfin. Is zoned as it has been renovated for commercial use.
Oh, what's her price with the seller?
She doesn't have one. She needs to know with having two different price ranges like that, what should she do next?
Well, number one, you need to call them and see if what's the price they want to sell it for. That's the first thing. We can't go beyond that.
Okay.
You have to know what they want to sell it for. You got to call them and see how much they want to sell it for.
Okay. And Danny gave you some numbers. The after repair value is 330, repairs 80. We agreed on 195. That's the home where the realtor is also the seller.
So what's the ARV?
330.
And what's the price?
195 with 80 in repairs.
That's not a deal. 330. That's almost 270. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, without even subtracting the repairs, you take 330 times 70%, you're at 231. Subtract, he said, what, 80?
Yes.
Subtract 80 in repairs, you're at 151, and you hadn't even gotten paid yet. So that's what I'm talking about. See, motivated sellers just don't put those type of demands on you. Normally, the numbers are not going to work. And then it's a realtor too. Just I guess selling their own property. It is just hard to do business with them, to make the money that you're looking for. Because what they think is a deal ain't a deal for you in most cases. So the numbers don't work on that, first of all, Playboy.
All right. So Danny, you might not even need to worry about what contract you're using.
You need to get it down probably another at least
50 grand.
50,000. Yeah, at least another 50,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see, Instagram. I'm from DC. What's the best RVM and skip tracing service outside of TLO and Nexus Lexus?
I that's not my thing. I can't really tell you on that. I know what those are, but I couldn't tell you anything on that.
Okay.
I wonder why all these skip tracing service. I guess they may be somebody's feeding that. I guess a lot of people watching somebody that keeps talking about skip tracing. Yeah, because we get 5 or 6 of those. You probably not even reading all of them.
No. Because it's just
whoever you all are watching, I have no idea. You need to tap into that source about the skip tracing or whatever, because you hear I rarely talk about it. It's just not my thing, and I know I'll probably leave a lot of money on the table with it or whatever. I just buy the list. The phone number. If I buy a list of 1,000 people and it produces 400 phone numbers, those are the 400 I'm going to work on. That's just me. So I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you that's me.
Oh, we have LaShawn Brown. Hey, LaShawn Brown. I don't know who you are, but you say you're from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, in the house. Hey, T-Town. Okay, Jose, I see you too. You're in Birmingham. Let's see here. So back to motivated sellers. Willie, I see your question. I'm just going to read it. What is the best way to talk to sellers to place their house under contract? Some sellers are not willing to do it. Then you're not dealing with a motivated seller.
You're not dealing with a motivated seller. You're just dealing with someone that wants to sell a house. And I'm not sure how your conversation is going with them, but if you have to have the attitude, whether you got $1 in the bank or the 10 million in the bank, you got to have that $10 million attitude when you're dealing with these sellers. It'll come off that way also. You just got to have that attitude. You got to lie to them. I got $10 million in the bank. You just got to have that attitude that you don't care if they do it or they don't, but the numbers have to work. Motivated sellers, they don't have no problem with you putting it on the contract. Most people know that's just how real estate transactions take place. You know, I don't even, you know, whenever we get to the contract part, the way the conversation goes, we've already settled on the price. Blah, blah. I say, well, what can I email you a contract? That's how it goes. If my mama got email where she barely can reply, she got it where she can reply. I don't know who showed her how to do that. Then everybody has email. So, and if they don't, then you can get it to them in their hand or whatever. But I'm gonna try to send someone a contract without actually having to put it in their hand. You know, just for the sake of, normally I'm not going out to a property. I don't make the decision to do a deal right there. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you, it just, no, I'm just gonna email it over. Number one, for my records, it makes it easier for me to forward to title company or attorneys or whatever to close the deal or whatever, instead of have to scan something in and all that stuff. And people still do faxes, but you know, there's so many ways you can send stuff through email with signature, electronic signatures and so on. But if they have a problem with signing a contract, and just like we did with the dude with the realtor, they just don't, motivated sellers just don't act that way. You know, that's the least of their worries. You know, is the agreement. If they give you a price that works for you, I would like to hear the numbers on the deal. Well, he wasn't talking about a deal in particular, he was just talking about just in general. So it just normally don't work that way, guys. It just, you don't, again, now I don't know how you present yourself when you're talking to them. I'm telling you how you should present themselves. I buy houses as is. I close in 2 to 4 weeks. We pay all closing costs minus any unpaid taxes, mortgages, or liens. That answers literally all of their questions. That you want to do business or not.
All right.
If you don't, hey, let me know when you want to sign a contract on when we can get this process started. You just have to have that attitude nicely, but you have to have that attitude. I don't care if you do it or if you don't. Too many other people out here want to sell.
Okay. Hey, Charles and Jackie Adeyemo. Hey, from Texas. You finally made a live stream. Great. Glad to have you here. Let's go into this question I had up here, which was kind of towards the top. Let's see here. So Truth Seeker says, I'm 19. I'm just trying to start out. I'm young. I don't have enough funds to do a deal. How would I go around that obstacle? So Truth, let's start with the 270 plus videos that are available to you. You will, very first thing you will learn that it requires little to no funds to wholesale properties. Educate yourself first. Read all the information that is made available to you that is free available to you.
How old did he say he was?
19.
Okay. Let's start there. Let's just start there. All right. Unless you have some type of disability or something, what prevents you from getting out and making some money to fund your business? Now, you can do it with no money, literally. It's just harder. We're only talking a few $100s. What prevents you from getting, I don't know if you have an actual existing job, but assuming that you do, and if that's only the money you have to support whatever you have going on now, you don't have any additional, I get it. But what prevents a 19-year-old from not getting an additional job or a job just period to fund your business? You have to do what it takes. And separate the ones that do it and the ones that don't. It's just that simple. So I'd love for you to answer that question for me, young man.
Okay. Hey, the True Church. And Isaiah emoji, you probably are overthinking this. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. That is correct. And Shayna Marshall, you and your husband. Hey, y'all from Ackworth, Georgia. And this is y'all's first time joining us again. Thank you. Oh, you need my shirt. Too cute. Yay, she likes my shirt.
You can get yours at, well, it should be on any video. Any of my videos, it'll be an option to purchase there right under any of the YouTube videos. If not, you can always go to, what is it? DFOB, THEFOBB. If you don't know what FOB means, FOBB, fear of being broke. But you can go there also.com. That'll take you over to the Shopify site to purchase t-shirts. It'll be a couple of there, but you can just click on any of them. It'll take you over there to the catalog. Or you can go to flipman.net, scroll down to see the green button. You'll see where it says, I'm ready for one-on-one private coaching. But that'll take you to the entire catalog page with the courses and coaching, but also where you can purchase the the t-shirt. Oh, I forgot, we hadn't even mentioned starter signs. We do have some signs available with the no excuses bundle pack. That's where you get 100 banded signs along with the ebook, along with the training ebook on how to wholesale 3 to 5 houses per month, along with the bonus training on the live video recording of how to wholesale apartment buildings. So the no excuses bundle
pack.
You go to startersigns.com. Get it starting. Startersigns.com.
Startersigns.com. No excuses, guys. No excuses. Courtney Moore wants to know. Well, she says she works 10 to 12 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week. Would it be smart for me to quit the job and go full force at this, or try and get a deal somewhere in my limited free time?
So how many hours you work a week?
10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, so 60 hours.
Okay.
60, 70 hours a week.
Y'all know I love this kind of stuff.
Oh gosh, here we go.
It's 168 hours don't quit your job. Let me just first say that.
Don't do that.
Unless you got a year of bills paid. A year of bills saved. Okay. Quit. You can quit. Get out here and make it happen. If you're that
Gator.
What's the word I'm looking for? Financially wise to have saved a year worth of bills, then you're good. You should be able to do this with no problem. But the 168 hours in a week, you already taken 60 of them through working max from where it sounds. Okay, we'll give you another 8 times 7 is 56. So we'll give you another 60 of sleeping. So you have 120, right? We'll give you another. What is that? We'll give you another 30 hours. We'll give you another 30 hours just to do whatever you want to do. So we're at 150. So you got 18 hours you can work on this business. Boom. There you go.
Boom.
A week.
A week.
A week.
Yeah. Yeah, but you put it like that. The hours are there, but you just don't see them.
It's all time management, man.
Yeah.
Time management.
Ophelia has a question that you get every week. You want to know what it is? Can you guess? It's about her being a realtor. Yep, I just told you.
Go ahead.
Would you suggest it's a good idea to get your license so you can have a real comps and access to the MLS to benefit your entity, wholesaling business, and be able to build other relationships that way, kind of like a win-win for yourself? I took the class, just hesitant about taking exams to hold a license. Thanks.
I may be the wrong person to ask on this. I know I'm normally objective on a lot of things. I try to give you as long as you are a realtor with a wholesaler's mentality. But as for this is not 1990 where the internet didn't exist. You're talking about real comps. If you're in a decent sized market, that information is readily available free online in a lot of cases, and in most cases. You just have to take the data that's available by combining the sites that are there, like Zillow. I know people talk bad about Zillow, but it's the same. It is pulling the same information that MLS is pulling. Do you ever wonder why not a lot, all the properties on MLS are on Zillow? It's the same data. At the end of the day, you just have to know how to use it or whatever, which I have a video that explains that top 3 ways to calculate ARV. Again, that's going to be up to your own personal preference, but you definitely don't need a license to be a highly successful wholesaler. And me personally, because I'm a little renegade I just don't want that umbrella over me trying to manage me and mine. You know what I'm saying? So, because being a realtor, and I guess you could transition some of the leads that you get into a listing or whatever, that's on you or whatever, but it's definitely not needed to do the biz by no means. So it's going to be a personal preference. Some people just like to be able to see their face on the business card, and on the signs and stuff. Like, man, come on, man, don't do like everybody else do. That's taking up space. They don't care who you are, what you look like, but they all do it or whatever. That's taking up real estate to advertise some of your other services or whatever. But that's just me. I'm into marketing, so it's always funny to me. that they take up that additional space with their face. Hi, I'm Tammy. On their business card or whatever. But speaking of pictures on cards or whatever, mail to flip.com for your direct mail. If you want to stand out from your competition, imagine a seller receiving this in the mail. Read that off if you don't mind. Receiving that in the mail, a picture of the actual property that you're targeting, you're going to get their attention. Direct mail just boils down to, can you get your message read? You just let the numbers take over.
And I like to start this off before I read this card, telling you guys that a lot of you ask for a script that you can use when calling sellers. This card is awesome. Keeps your postcards from getting in the trash. Most mail is sorted over the trash. It's proven. But what it does say is, the other day I was driving by your house at 1234 Any Street and noticed it appeared to be vacant. If you have any interest in selling fast as is and with zero commissions or closing costs, I would like to buy it. Call me today. And your name and your number. That's a good script. It's a good card. No reason.
Yeah, mail to flip.
Mail to flip.com.
Matter of fact, those guys that do this, I'm going out to meet them in a couple of weeks or whatever, and probably do a video or something out there at their operation. So stay tuned.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. That's nice. He leaving me. All right. No, Kenneth, I do not know. Please enlighten me. Kenneth says, do you know what rich people and poor people have in common?
Air.
I'm sure that is true. No, Kenneth, what is it? Tell me.
Problems.
Yeah, I'll go with that one all day. Let's see here. Ophelia thinks that's funny. Okay, so on Instagram, the question was, how do you market to pre-foreclosures? I've actually seen that question like 3 times in both places, so it must be the same person. Pre-foreclosures, how do you market to them? First of all, you need to know that they're not top secret, right?
Well, no, but to answer his question, I won't even get into all that. But direct mail, door knocking, or try to call them. It's that simple.
Okay, there you have it. Willie, you don't have an answer. You thinking about it. Maybe he'll tell us eventually. Oh, Kenneth Garner says what rich people and poor people have in common are the same 24 hours. Everybody has.
That's
24.
powerful. I like that.
Oh gosh, Kenneth, you gonna have that on the shirt?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's what's happening.
24 hours. What you decide to do with your 24
that's
hours
what's happening.
Is your choice. Yeah, Kenneth, that's
yeah. I like that. Did you write that?
I don't
know. You saw that somewhere, man.
I don't know. I like that.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, air, that's really the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You're breathing, which means you had the same opportunity. Well, maybe
not. Maybe not. You can't say that.
You may not have the same opportunities. You may not have the same opportunities.
No, sir.
But
you have the same time. That time is
the time. But if you breathe, you got to have time.
No,
well, not necessarily, but I'm just saying you got to at least. We got to start with the basics. You got to be breathing. We got to start with just the basics. Then we work our way up to the 24 hours.
Kenneth, I like that. He says he spoke with you a couple of weeks ago, actually. Okay, so thanks for putting this out there. How do you determine what deals you'll pick to help fund? Do you fund 5-plex units? And do you help fund new investors?
Who, me?
I don't know. It's from DMV Pat.
Oh, nah.
Project Pat.
Maybe you're referring to fundmynextdeal.com. Just go there, follow the instructions. Fundmynextdeal.com.
Okay, Jaleesa wants to know, and this is for everybody starting out. They're curious. She's having trouble finding buyers, and she wants to know, how long did it take you to make your first deal? I'm going to tell you that you cannot use him as your example.
I'm not a good example.
Not a good example.
I bought a course in January of 2003. It took me about 3 weeks to go through it all, because there was more information that I actually paid for. And I bought signs on a Friday in February of probably the first week of February. I'm not sure exactly the date. February of 2003. I picked up my first check either like March 3rd, 4th, or 5th. So within 30 days, I did my first deal after I put out my actual first sign. That's my experience. So.
Okay. But realistically, if you use those 18 hours a week that you have, 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days.
It's all about lead generation, baby girl. If you do an effective job of generating leads, you can do deals, and lots of them. Even when I'm not waving any magic wand. When I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I don't make money. It's that simple.
Okay, so we have a couple of is it a deal questions. We haven't done these a lot, so pull out your calculator. This is Josie. She has a house on contract in Trustville with an ARV of $275,000.
Trustville, Alabama.
Trustville, Alabama. That's right.
Okay.
Okay, and the repairs are 60, and she has it on a contract for 100.
Call me.
Wait a minute.
There's no math to do.
Okay. What would be your asking price? I had to drop it to 110 before I started getting calls. So is her ARV correct? Because she should be getting calls.
Yeah, if you had to drop it to 110, I don't know what your issue is, unless you're off on your ARV. But yeah, just text me 205-492-34. Well, call me too. Well, better text first than call. 205-492-3425.
Josie, there you have it. So what I just did right there is a possibility he may be able to assist Josie, but yeah, that's available to you guys too. 50/50 dot. No, 50/50 dot deals. And what are the requirements to possibly partner?
Likely, I would prefer that you have it on the contract, and it needs to be a deal. It needs to be off market. You have it on the contract with the owner, and you can submit. I'll take a look at it, tell you what I think. If it's a deal, we'll do something.
Josie, I apologize. He's a guy. First of all, let's start there.
Okay.
He's a guy. So.
Oh, the Trustville dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Trustville is in my market is the reason I'm telling them to call me. So don't just blow me up. But Trustville is in my market. It's 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from where we are right now. So.
All right. Sorry about that. But you got the number. You can find it. It's easy. The next is it a deal question. Let me scroll back up. I have to find it. Was Ricky Armstrong. I got a contract for 215. The ARV is 315 with 40,000 in repairs.
Not a deal.
In Rockwell, Texas.
Not a deal, Ricky. 315 times 70% is 220,500. Minus your $40,000 in repairs, you're down to 180,500. You hadn't got paid yet. That's not a deal, Playboy. Maybe I'm wrong, but just the easy number. That's not a deal.
Okay, so
you need to probably get that down to probably about 150 for you to make some money, somewhere in that range. All
right, last is it a deal? This is from Paris. First of all, she says hello. Is this a deal? ARV 130K. Repairs are anywhere from 40 to 50. Asking 40.
Wait a minute. What is it?
The ARV is 130.
Okay.
Okay. Asking for 40.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 40 to 50 in repairs. So we'll say 45.
We'll say 50.
Okay. Take the high end. And still outstanding 13,000 from a roofing loan.
Yeah, that's killed it. You need that property. You need that for they got to pay out the roofing loan, so that you probably need that property around about 15 in order for you to make some money off of it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Nicholas Ferguson threw one up there. I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
Is it a deal?
Is it a deal?
Okay.
Okay. I have a house under contract. The ARV is 225. Okay. The seller is asking 130. Repairs are about 20. So 150.
Wait a minute. What was the 225?
225 is the ARV.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so what the repairs are?
20.
Okay. And then how much they got on the contract for?
130.
Okay. All right. We in there. 137.5 at. You got some room there to make a little bread. I would probably put it out there maybe about 142. See what happens. I'll work out. Have you already got in the contract?
I do. Not. It doesn't really say. Just says
but,
what the seller is asking for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll try to get that down to about 115, 110. Oh, you definitely be in business. But 130 will work. But I would try to get it down. Quite a bit. 10 or 15 more if possible.
All right. So until you get that ink on the dotted line, sounds like you might have you something, Nicholas. I appreciate those. Is it a deal question, guys? It helps everybody else figure out the numbers. And I know you can watch the videos and you can hear about the 70% and 30, whichever way you want to look at it. I see that. I got it right here.
No, I'm trying to see how many that is. Okay.
There's a lot of numbers. Crystal, our admin, says, hey, y'all, the admin is in the house. Just finished meeting with 2 sellers, got 2 new houses under contract. Goal is to close 5 for the month of September. 3 days left. I'm on target. Wow. I don't know about y'all, but Chris be cashing checks. Like, she didn't even stop. Had a whole baby, not half a baby, a whole baby, and kept powering right on through. Didn't take a break at all. You want to check? Be like Crystal. Hey, Crystal got 24 hours in her day, just like you and I do. So
168 hours a week.
Yeah. So what you doing with that time frame?
Now I know I got a question.
What's the question?
What do poor people and rich people have in common?
24 hours. We just said that.
168 hours in a week.
You just had to put your own spin on it. Oh my gosh. If you're on Instagram, you will see that post by maybe in the next hour. I know you will see. You're gonna make that a post.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Yeah, I can see that. Oh wow. Okay, baby is rolling around with me at 4 weeks old. The baby is fine. You need to be in the house, Crystal. The baby is A-okay. You got to be in the house. Goodness.
Oh, hey.
Gosh. And she laughing at your 168 hours a week. Don't encourage that. Wow. Edward Donlin. About 6 to 7 months, I invested in the expensive Kent Clothier software before I found you. After purchasing the software, I sadly found out to know how to reverse wholesale, I would have to purchase their training, which was again in the thousands. So now I have this software that's never been used, and it's frustrating to say the least because I can't get a refund. Can I assume using your training and integrating this software better my chances at getting a deal?
Well, I'm assuming that the software is just some aggregated information that can be useful. It's a tool that if you know what you're doing, if you know how to take the information and flip it into something as far as lead generation, because that's all it should be, is some form of lead generation, then you just need to know what to do with it. That's just it.
Yeah, it just sounds like you have even more information, more tools to use at your leisure, Edward. So most definitely get your money's worth out of it. Karanda, hello, welcome. It's your first live and glad you are here. You said you're glad to be here. Let's see here. We're rounding it out, guys. Here's Edmund. Edmund got Is It a Deal? You ready?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Nicholas Ferguson, the one that was 130, is under contract.
Okay, boom.
There you go, Nick.
Keep us updated. Hope that works out and play.
Okay, let's see here. Truth Seeker, you're more than welcome. Says, thank you for what you do. Was just wondering, since I look young, I'm not sure people will make a deal or contract. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, man.
Doesn't matter, Truth.
Don't I look young? They take me serious.
A moment of silence. Okay. Okay. Edmund has a property under contract for 20. Sounds good. Oh, the ARV is 7777. $77,770.
78,000.
78,000. Okay. Repairs.
This is a slot machine.
It's a 777.
We got both sounds.
Hey, that means you gotta go this way and possibly. Yeah. That's a money maker right there. Okay, so 23,550, so 24,000 in repairs, and he has it under contract for 20. Very little meat, if any.
Yeah, he good.
He wants to know what should he list it for.
I would put it out there probably about 32.
About 32. So the 78, the 70% of that leaves you about 59. Removing your 43, you still have that little meat on the bone, as they say. You got some meat. Meat. There you go, Edmund. Sounds like you may have a deal. Money to Don. Mind your business. I don't utilize my hours well. Sorry. I'm honest. I'm in the same boat as you. Absolutely. Let's see here. Clyde from Vermont says my market isn't good at all. Should I switch markets?
How big of a town or a city that you're in? That's what it all boils down to me. It's population.
Population. So.
Because people died there. They job or income loss, they relocate, medical bills, tax situations, property needs too many repairs, tired of being a landlord, kids tuition, and just life problems. They exist everywhere. I don't care where you are. That's what rich people and poor people have in common also, is problems. Some of those turn into motivated sellers. Your job is to let them know you exist. You do an effective job of that. You can do deals anywhere as long as there are enough people there to target.
Okay, going back.
In my opinion, from my experience.
That is true. Hey guys, I know if you hear that you've probably heard us mention it before, but you should be a member of Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flipman Facebook group. A lot of these questions that you have over, what is it now?
21,600.
21,000. We're gonna round it up to 22. About 22,000. Right. Members that you can post questions and ask daily. A lot of good information there, a lot of good motivation, encouraging words every day. Crystal is an admin on that site along with myself and Mr. Wallace. Go in and kind of regulate. Don't use it as your own personal advertising forum. Please don't do that. But you, like I said, you can find other people in your area that you can partner up with. Maybe go have coffee, a little, tea, whatever your thing is. A lot of people want to have a squad or group or friends to do this wholesaling journey with. It's not required, but if you need that accountability partner, that group would possibly be a good place for you to start to find someone to help you. Ryan wants to know, what's the formula ARV minus repairs versus profits that you've been using? So
what is it?
Or apple cider.
You know what, Brian, before Adrian got here, that's what I was explaining. So once this particular Flippinar goes into replay mode, you can see I broke it down from A to Z. So just watch the beginning of this particular episode, show 72. Just wait about 30 minutes when this is over, and you can I break it down in the detail. Okay. I went on about a 15-minute diatribe.
Kenneth has a question here, and it's funny to me because I think about our market and I think about you go to a certain side of town, that's quite common. But Kenneth says, where do you find a $20,000 house?
Well, we're in Birmingham, Alabama, so it's going to be different. A lot of markets are similar to that. Where is he?
I'm not sure. Kenneth, where are you located?
Yeah, so it just depends on where you're located, That's common in a lot. It's more common in more markets. That's common than the other. When you start talking Southern California, I guess parts of Washington, South Florida, obviously New York, that's not the norm. Those prices, though, that's not the norm.
Crystal, where are you located? What state, rather?
Crystal's in Michigan.
Crystal's in Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Yeah, like Detroit.
For $1. Yeah. We don't want to end this up. Okay. So what is the name of the group, Tanya Brown? Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flip Man. Hey, Torian's watching. Okay. Last question. Oh, Roosevelt. Thanks. It has been a minute. No. Okay, guys. So Ty has been on for an hour. We try to do this every Thursday, give you a good solid hour of content. You asking questions, us answering questions. Ty has put in place quite a few tools, we'll call them websites, that are available to you that you can visit. Flipman.net if you want to get in that one-page contract. Dealulator.com, good monthly subscription, but it is a good resource for your wholesaling business. You do receive a 5-day trial. Mail2flip.com if you want to do the marketing advertisement. And beyond.
That's it. We can just go. We ain't got to go through all of them. We good.
Well, you told me to do all of them.
No.
You know what, guys? We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We will see you next Thursday. Whatever game is on, y'all enjoy watching it.
Yeah, because that's what I'm getting to. We put an hour in. It's a school night. Adrian got some stuff she got to do.
That is right.
And so, we need to. We'll see y'all next week. So,
thanks for joining us. See y'all next week on the flip side, guys. All right.